And that's super.
Let's go. All right, we are live. Hello, my name is Robert Lyon. I'm here with Gino Nadarov. We are Credit Leverage X. We're here to drop some knowledge on you guys today. We've actually got a cool new setup we're going to be doing where we have some questions we're going to go over, and we're going to drop the wealth of knowledge. But before we kind of get into the golden nuggets, Gino, you got anything on your mind? Anything you want to share? Anything new going on in the world?
No, yeah. I feel like where there's a lot of good energy. There's a lot of good things that are. I feel like we during February and January we kind of went through the holiday season, and now I think people are waking up and like it's back to work. Right? Let's get yourself on the grind and like really make this 2024 a successful year, and really help a lot of people is what I'm feeling today.
Cool. We're also live for the first time on Gino's Instagram.
Yeah.
So if you're watching us out there, let us know what channel you're checking us out on and saying hello from, and also what state and country. I think you have a lot of people like all over the world, don't you? You have like a ton of like
I get
followers and crazy, like over 1 million people. So somebody better watch us.
Yeah,
especially since we're dropping the knowledge, bro.
dropping fire, bro.
I don't have much, of an intro. I mean, I'm really obsessed with business credit right now. There's gonna be a bunch more business credit stuff coming out. Loan broker information is on top of my mind. Flipping land is also something I'm really like excited about, and then Amazon. So too many things as always, but all the good stuff. So check this out. So this is gonna be our new little rundown, dude. So these questions, we're just gonna kind of try and keep it fresh and keep it interesting for the listener out there. We'll do like about 5 minutes on each one of these topics, and then we'll kind of move on to the next one. And I think this is gonna turn into some powerful information for the people out there. You kind of got it,
Yep.
All right. So the first question that we get asked a lot is, why do millionaires use credit cards when they don't lack money? I think you're the right person to ask this to. So.
Yeah, that's it's all about using other people's money, right? So in this case, the fastest way to get money is is not necessarily asking friend, family, or someone. They may have some questions why you want the money and all that stuff. So if you know what to do with the money, then you need to get quick money fast, and as long as you're able to hedge credit cards, 0% interest credit cards, which is pretty much no free money, right? Money that you didn't have, has no interest. You're able to multiply that money. Credit cards are the fastest way to grow, wealth as far as like being able to leverage and be able to maximize profits at a 0% rate. Credit cards are amazing, especially business credit cards that don't report to your personal credit. Businesses, owners, and millionaires, they all use credit cards, especially on the business side, because they're able to leverage their business and not affect their personal credit. And leveraging business credit cards with 0% interest is a game changer. And being able to buy real estate, being able to buy cars, whatever you want, and be able to use that asset to create cash flow is the game changer. And that's why millionaires, regardless of where they are, if they have $1 million in the bank or they own $20 million worth of real estate, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is, for me, for example, I might have a bunch of real estate, might have a bunch of cars, a bunch of stuff, but for me, credit cards and being able to leverage 0% interest credit cards over and over again is a game changer. And we can hedge that. We can hedge credit cards as far as like, even if you pay an annual rate on a credit card, if you have a system or a opportunity where you can invest your money and create income off that asset, you got a whole another thing. Like it's most powerful thing, I think, is using credit cards, Robert.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not even like, if you think about bigger, it's not just credit cards, it's using other people's money though. Like the short answer is, when you have cash, you want to use other people's money. Like I've been telling Gino, I'm very, very, I was studying Sam Walton, right? And Sam Walton started Walmart, very successful, came from Arkansas, humble beginnings, but 80% of all the items in Walmart are bought on business credit, right? They're bought with credit cards, basically. Then they sell it and they make a profit. So he's a multi-billionaire. He's dead, but his family's a multi-billionaire. It's not like they're writing, paying cash for all the products at Walmart. So they're using credit. They're using other people's money to consistently grow and consistently scale. So it's just all about using other people's money. And this is the point I wanted to say. Sorry. What Walmart does is they buy all the products. They keep their shelves full with credit, and they actually use all the cash to buy real estate. That's what they do. So they use the credit to buy the products, to put it on the shelves, to do marketing, to do all that stuff. But then they hoard all the cash, and then whenever they have enough, they buy another location, right? And that's the mindset that you should be having.
That's something that that I do all the time, actually, Robert. That's for me, it's like cash is king, right? When it comes to buying assets, especially real estate, you can't go into technically you can't just run a credit card to buy a property. They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna allow you to leverage credit cards to go buy a property. You got to have cash, and they want cash in the bank, and they want that to be deposited into escrow. So if you're buying real estate, you need to have cash. But as far as credit, you can still leverage credit to buy assets. You just got to be able to convert credit to cash. And in our program, we do that. We help you convert credit to cash, invest your money as credit versus just cash. So, but I millionaires, even like Walmart, like you said, use cash to buy real estate. They use cash to buy hard assets. And they'll use business credit to run their business because it's just more more fluid, and it's just more valuable because you have a business line of credit. You can use that over and over again. You can pay it back with the profits, and you're able to just leverage business credit cards versus having to use cash. And I think that's smart, and that's what I've done to build my real estate portfolio. Is I leverage credit to maybe fix the property up, get it up to rental value, pay my contractors or whatever, and get the buy parts, buy material. All this stuff is used on personal or business credit. I mostly business credit. If unless I'm tapped out, I'll definitely tap into personal credit. But essentially, is being able to use credit to buy those things that you don't need to use for as far as cash. But to buy the real estate, you have to have cash, and that's why you hoard your cash, collect your cash, and you use that to buy your hard assets.
Yep. So I think that answers that. So let's go on to the next one. What mindset do you need to have in order to make money? I think it's kind
that's a very high level question. I mean, mindset. you gotta have a mindset of of the people that are making money, the rich and famous, and those that actually use their money wisely. You don't want to be a 9-to-5 worker or a career. Working for someone else is definitely not the mindset. So you have to definitely change that mindset when you should work for yourself, or you should work for a company that does what you love, and make sure that you're able to exponentially grow. You don't want to have a ceiling. A glass ceiling is the biggest issue anybody has, is when they get either a paycheck, an hourly rate, or they get a salary. The moment they get a salary that's the moment that they kiss their dreams away, because at that point you're just basically you're stuck at that salary, and you got to perform at a certain level. You got to beg your boss to get some more money, and it's just ridiculous. Your performance does not reflect what you're making. So the biggest thing is being able to have a mindset that you're able to grow continuously and have an opportunity that you can do that is where you need to start thinking. And on top of that, being able to change your safe zone. You need to get out of your safe zone and stop being comfortable. You need to be uncomfortable in order to be able to grow. So if you're comfortable right now, then you're not growing. You're not changing the way you're thinking. You're just you're content, and you just want to stay comfortable, and it's nice and comfy where you are. Well, guess what? You're never going to make that $1 million. You're never going to be a millionaire. You're never going to make that investments. You're never going to be able to do the things that you may want to do, buy that, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million house, because you're not going to be able to change your mindset. So I think the mindset is key to anybody's success, especially when you're starting off, you're coming out of high school or college. You got to start thinking big. And if your mindset is not about thinking big, like you want that Lambo, you want that amazing house, well, you're not going to get it if you are not going to change your mindset, and you're not going to think big. You're not going to put the work in, and also be able to find a vehicle that's going to get you there. It's not going to be, unfortunately, I'm one that went through this it's not going to be going to school and getting a job and getting a career. It's not. It's going to be something that you yourself will love and you want to do. And it's, to me now, I see the light. It's primarily being able to get into something that you actually love. And in this case, potentially doing sales or marketing. And those are the two things that if you love sales, you can make a lot of money. And if you love marketing, you can make a lot of money. But you have to be able to have the vehicle to do that.
Yeah. And then I mean, I think you have to be an opportunist, right? You have to, not like in a bad way. People take it wrong. People think making money is like bad, but you're just dumb if you think that. Making money is good. Making money is great. Making money opens up opportunities. Making money makes the world go round, right? So in order to make a lot of money, you have to see opportunities. Like the first step is always like you're gonna have to do a shitload of work, but you're gonna have to add value to the marketplace. Like there's something uniquely, there's something unique you can do that someone will pay you money for. It may not be that unique. It might just be cutting lawns or throwing out trash or moving stuff, right? But there's an opportunity there. They don't want to do it. They'll pay you money to do it. That's the first thing. So you have to see those opportunities. And then like Gino's hat, if you want to make a lot of fucking money, right, you got to 10x it. You got to think bigger. So then if it's just, okay, if I can cut a lawn and I can make $20, what if I get somebody else to cut a lawn? I make 10, they make 10. And then now I have other people working for me, right? That's leverage. And then you can basically get it even bigger where you start to add sales and marketing like you were talking about. So then you had an opportunity, you did the work first, you hired somebody else, you created a system that generates more business, and now you're making lots of money, right? And you've made a system that makes you money. The key thing with money is it's not a one-time deal. It's a repetitive stream of systems of things that happen over and over and over that put money into your bank account, right? So that's how you need to make money. And I think that's what you have to do. You got to add value. You got to be an opportunist. You have to fucking do the work. You have to create a system. And then you also just have to think differently, right? I mean, I think I've always been very entrepreneurial. I don't see as many kids, that are kind of younger nowadays, very entrepreneurial. They're all kind of lazy. They just kind of want to, run the tab up on their parents. And they don't have that. Like, I always wanted to make money, man. I was like always out there wheeling and dealing. It was fun to me, so you gotta have that. You gotta love the numbers and you gotta love the hustle,
And the mindset, I think that, just to touch on the mindset is really just being able to realize that, money is not everything. Okay. Right. It's about what your goal, as far as like, if you want to help people, you want to do something good in this world, you want to do something impactful. Money is just a byproduct of that. Okay. So the only thing is you need to realize the mindset has to be, don't go after the money. Well, money is going to get you, it's going to come. And that's the one thing I think when somebody told me this before, don't worry about the money will come. Just do what you love. Right. And it's kind of like, it's kind of cheesy, but it really is the truth, because if you love to do something and you really put your mind, you're not going to give that same 120, 110, 120% that you are going to do what you love versus you are going to do it for your job, which you don't love and you don't really care about. Right. Mm-hmm. You're going to do a lot more work for something that you love. And that mindset, that shift is really what it comes down to. And also being able to really, think about money is just a byproduct of freedom. Okay.
Right.
I realize that, mindset is.
I think freedom is the bigger flex.
Exactly. It all comes down to it's not about having a Lamborghini or a nice car. It's all about having the freedom to do what you want, when you want, and whenever you want. And that's really what it comes down to, is being free of the financial system that's being placed for us in order for to keep people working and doing what they need to do just to survive. Now, if you're okay with that kind of lifestyle, there's nothing wrong with that. You can live and your entire life working for someone else and make money. But if you want to be able to do something bigger, you want to 10x your life, you want to change the game, you need to start thinking differently. And that's what we teach at Credit Leverage X. We teach you to change your mindset, to start focusing on things that are more important, that you love, that you want to do, and really, make your dreams come true. That's what it comes down to,
Yeah, I think we nailed it. All right, let's go to the next one. I think we'll probably have different answers for this one, so it's kind of cool. So what do you think, Gino, are the 3 best things to spend your money on?
That's a good one. I think before it was, I would say, the only thing I would spend money on is assets, but I would never spend my money on anything else unless it makes me money. That's when you first start off. You should definitely not spend your money on things that don't make you money. Only spend your money on things that make you money. That's the number one rule. Besides that, if you're spending money, make sure you're buying assets or things that have value or are able to sustain the value that you bought them for. So you're not losing your money over time, depreciation. I would say, things that actually go up in value, obviously real estate, appreciation, and these are the things that I would say, really matters. So, and the last thing would be traveling. I think that, if you're gonna live your life, at least enjoy it, enjoy the money. And traveling is always food, eat good, and traveling. Like don't be cheap on food, because that you are what you eat. And traveling is really gonna, being able to see the world, interact with more people, see things that other people can't see is freedom. Being able to be in a different place and during life, and being somewhere you can't be is, being stuck in one location is not a freedom. Being able to be somewhere wherever you want and spending money on that is worth it. So I think assets, I think spending money on appreciating assets or things that make you money, and then finally traveling is the three things that I would spend money on.
Yeah, and I would say education, I think, is big for me. Like, and
Yeah.
I don't just mean like school or books. I mean like getting to go to events and being in the room with other like people. If you can spend your money to be in rooms with people that are making more money than you, I think that's always a good investment. Just see how they're thinking, see how they're doing things. The number two, like you said, travel, but I would change it to experiences, right? I would say spend your money on experiences, like going me when I was younger, I joined the military and I got to live in Germany, right? So that was probably one of the best experiences of my life. Like I got to go and live in another country and I got paid to fucking be there and be a little shithead in the army,
Oh,
so that was cool. Like I would literally get paid on a Friday. I'd hop in this little tiny piece of shit car and we would just drive all over Europe and then come back totally broke and live in the barracks for a week and then do it again, right? So it was a great experience though. But experiences, it teaches you a lot about yourself and it teaches you a lot about the world, right? The Americans, the biggest problem with Americans is they live in their stupid town and they have beef with all their stupid neighbors and they never get out of their own way and to experience their whole life, right? And the whole world. It's a big world out there. And there's a lot of things that you can learn from other cultures and other people. So I think that's very important. And then number three, I mean, I want to just say leverage, right? Things that you can leverage. Spend money on stuff you can leverage. So spend money on your team, spend money on marketing. Like you said, assets that appreciate something. I think I would, if I could, it'd be like four. It'd be like spend money to get your message out there, get yourself out there, and then spend money on your team so that they'll do the work and help you to thrive, right?
Yeah,
those
100%.
are like the main things.
I agree with you on that. I think, I mean, I would say education, as well. But I think, I would not be, I guess I can't completely, discard the fact that I went to school and became an engineer, but I didn't do it for no reason. I had to have something, right? So it's like, you need something to get yourself going. And at the end of the day, education, I would also add to that list, Robert. I think education, but education, sometimes, any education, regardless of what it is, will help you get one step closer to your goal. Sometimes just having the right mentor and having the right education, is going to 10x your life, or 100x your life, way more than just going to school and getting a degree, for example. And I think that's what a lot of young kids nowadays really should spend their money on, is finding the right mentors. Besides going to school, keep going to school. We're not against going to school. We're saying, school is still important. You gotta have a backbone. You gotta have something you can fall back on. But essentially, is you want to find a mentor or a program or something that you want to do, and you dive all into it, and you educate yourself, and you become the best at it. And that's really what it comes down to, is I think education as well, brother.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I never learned anything in school except for like chase girls and get in trouble and play sports. Right? Well, I learned everything after school when it was necessary for me to actually like go all in and learn something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I think. But I think that was a good one. Let's go to the next one. This will be more for you, especially. Is a Rolex considered an asset or a liability? What do you think?
That's a good one. Yeah, I got a few of those. I mean, I think I don't know. Before, I thought it was a liability because I thought it was just a waste of money. But I think it's, if you don't have 30, 40, 50 grand just laying around in your bank where you can just spend money on a Rolex, then it's like, well, would you rather have cash or would you rather have a Rolex? I think, and if you look at it long term wise, I think Rolex has actually outperformed real estate at one point. And I think Rolex is just a brand, right? It's just like any other brand. But the thing about Rolex is, I think it's a asset, because if you're wearing a Rolex and you walk into a room, people are gonna notice. Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you walk into a room with a Rolex, that just sets the stage. That sets the stage of who you are and what you can afford. Somebody pulling up with a Lamborghini or a Rolex or having an amazing, beautiful house, that sets their lifestyle, and that kind of tells other people that this individual can afford these things. And it's not a liability, because it costs them money, but if he can afford it, and he's actually using the money wisely and buying a Rolex as an investment, then I think it's an asset, because it also brings in good marketing. It provides good, it allows for conversations to start. I've so many times I've walked into a room and I've talked to people, and then they notice my Rolex, and they'll say, hey, isn't that a Hulk, or isn't that, a Submariner, or hey, that's a nice watch. That's a conversation starter. Anything that like that, and I think that's why it's an asset. And putting your money in a Rolex is so much better than buying, for example, a car, buying like even a luxury car. Buying, for example, nice clothes, like, nice shirts, nice hats, like jewelry. Even I would say Rolex is more valuable than even jewelry. Because if you buy jewelry, the jewelry doesn't appreciate. It usually depreciates, because it's just by the name. I mean, the moment you buy a Cartier, let's say, like bracelet, that thing depreciates, because it was just only as good as it was when it was in the store. The moment it walks out, it's just gold. You can't get the same value for it. So it just that's why I would say it's an asset, not a liability.
I think this is a good metaphor. I think it's based on the investor, right? I think if you have money and you buy a Rolex and you don't do shit with it, it's a liability. If you are like an entrepreneur, like you said, and you're the investor, if you can get a good deal, or if you understand the Rolex market and you can get like a really badass collector's Rolex, I think it can be an asset, right? So I think it's based on the investor, just like with most things. It's like it's not necessarily the investment; it's the investor in a lot of these cases. Now, if you buy like a brand new 2024 Rolex, I think it's kind of a waste of money. If you buy like one of the older, nice one collections, or if you have like a unique piece, I think it can be an asset. And then also, like you said, it's a conversation starter. It's a statement. It's a status. It's a mindset. So I think it's a lot on the investor.
It sets the stage on who you're talking to, basically. And I think that's kind of important. It's always been that one thing that anybody walks in, if you're having a conversation, if he's wearing a watch, you'll notice, especially if it's a Rolex. But I definitely think it's the investor. The investor does have a very, very important aspect to this, because the investor can can use it wisely, or can make it into a liability. If you're running around with a Rolex and you're flashing it around and you're just trying to show off, and you're just trying to be a show off, and just running around, and you're gonna probably either get robbed, or you're gonna end up somewhere, where you're gonna attract the wrong attention, right? You don't want to bring attention. You don't want to have negative attention. You want to have positive intention. You want to use it wisely, and I think that's what you meant when you say it's an investor. I agree with you.
Yeah. What's your favorite Rolex that you have?
I mean, I think my favorite has, I love the Hulk, but my favorite out of all of them would be this not the Submariner, but I have the it's called the Sea Dweller. I love the Sea Dweller, because it's a bulky piece, and I like bulky watches, so I like how it feels, and it's a very nice piece, and it's not that expensive compared to the other one, because I have a Sky Dweller as well, which is beautiful, but it's more luxurious, and you can't wear it all the time. The Sea Dweller, you can wear it every day. You can take it out, out to public. It's not too expensive to be worried about, and it still draws the same attention and a conversation starter. So I love the Sea Dweller.
Sick.
Yeah,
I think that was good. That was a cool little segment. Let's do the last one here. So, what are the benefits of real estate investing? This is for you. Let you set it off.
And this is our game right here. I mean, this is the real estate. I think investing in general, like buying and selling property, wholesaling property, right? Fixing and flipping. There's so many ways to do real estate. It's like you can cut it so many ways. I personally love to buy and hold assets, because I feel like because of the appreciation aspect. Because I've made most of my money because of my real estate appreciating. And a lot of my money, I didn't have to work for that appreciation. It was free. I had tenant pay down on my mortgages, so I was having my mortgage being paid down while the real estate was appreciating. So my wealth just went like this,
Yeah.
and it's like just exponential. And it's like, but the thing is, you have to be able to manage it. You have to be able to get the right person to help you if you need help. But I think it's even management companies, there's a lot of them out there. They can't do what what I was able to do, was able to manage the property and also be able to create so much cash flow on one single property, is what really is a game changer. It's like you can buy a piece of real estate, but if you're only cash flowing $300 to $500 a month, you got to buy a lot of real estate to make some money. You know what I mean? And it's a very slow game. But if you start to see how you can do house hacking, how you can create an additional space, or be able to rent an additional area or build an additional area and start to become a developer. So when they ask me what I do, I'm a real estate developer because I build units and I build additional space, and that's why I'm able to create value. Besides renovating the property and getting it, to rental value and fixing it up and raising the rent, it's also being able to have additional cash flow by being able to use real estate already that I have to leverage real estate to build more real estate, and then be able to create more cash flow on single deals versus having to have 30-40 houses. You can have maybe like 10 or 12 properties, and you can make the same or more money depending on the area.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest benefits is like what you're doing today is a HELOC for one of our clients, is basically being able to park your money into something that is going to be able to appreciate, right?
Yeah.
And going to create more money. And I think that everybody needs a place to live. I mean, I think it is going to be kind of interesting in the future, when they start like pumping out these 3D printed houses, and maybe that will offset the market. But the American dream is still going to be going hard, where you have your house, you have your white picket fence, your yard where you can have your dogs and stuff. I mean, that's kind of dead too, because like it's not like any of your houses; they're all full of renting out the rooms right now. It's like everybody just basically needs a place to park to put their self on the shelf, right? The human shelf of their bed at night.
It depends on your market. Every market is different. You can rent out. I built studios. I built 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms. And I usually buy my properties, 3 to 4 bedrooms minimum, because I'm able to either rent out the whole house if I want to, or I just rent it out in segments. So they're essentially house hacking. There's ways to make more money off your assets. You don't have to the whole point of the asset is to make money, but also it's always going to be around. People are always going to need a place to live. They're always going to have, that the rental market will always be around. That's regardless. So that's something like you need to eat, you need to sleep, right? Same thing. So those are the benefits. And I would say, being able to cash flow on an asset and the appreciation and being able to depreciate the losses in your taxes, another benefit of real estate.
Being able to own something in the real world.
Owning something. So there's and I would say 4 or 5 benefits. Being able to buy an asset, a hard asset that creates cash flow, being able to get tenant buy down, being able to create to save money on taxes, and that's a very important thing. Everybody should own at least one piece of real estate to save money on taxes. And I'm being able to appreciate having an asset that appreciates over time without you having to work for it and make money off that is very powerful. And also being able to have a land, like a piece of land, or having a hard asset, like you said, where you can actually build on, or you can actually rent for your own self or for others. Essentially, it's you own it, and that's what's owning a piece of real estate in the world is cool. It's like you own this place, this area, this place is ours. Yeah, we might not own the land completely because there's always taxes. Essentially, the United States government has a monopoly on the land, and they're always going to tax you. But at the end of the day, at least you can use it, and you own it essentially on paper, where you can actually use that land and build on it and do whatever you want to, unless there's some restrictions already in place by the government or the state laws, which I've had many situations like that. But essentially, is you have to realize you own that piece of land and you can do what you want with it, pretty much up to the levels of the law and that limits you. So
yeah, I like it. And then also, you can have a home, right? It's different than a house, where you keep a family, right? Where you can have memories and stuff. So there's a lot of benefits to that. You can also have a house somewhere where you travel to, or where you rent out on, the summer and you travel to in the winter. There's lots of benefits. You can go places. You'll have a place to stay for yourself, for your family, for memories and whatever the hell else, to raise your kids. Like, there's a lot of benefits to real estate investing.
Vacations.
Yeah. And I mean, I think being a real estate investor, you get the best deals because you're like in the game and you understand the moves to make, right? So yeah, there's a lot.
I kind of want to touch on one more thing that I think real estate taught me.
Yeah.
So real estate, not only there's benefits about having real estate, but I think what real estate, being in real estate or learning about real estate and how real estate works and everything else, I think it kind of levels your IQ where it comes to like being an investor and in general just being savvy with your money and starting to learn how you can leverage real estate and be able to create money out of thin air by using your money multiple times is one way that a lot of people don't realize that you can you can actually leverage your real estate and over again. And it's like a bank. It's like it's like having a house that stands there, but then you can actually take a loan against it. You can actually get tax-free money from your real estate as it appreciates. So literally you're printing money as it goes up in value. You're taking money out of this asset and you can live off of it. You can literally live off a house like for years. You know what I mean? Like if you don't really want to fucking pay work or whatever, like you can literally like live off that asset and then work and pay it back and then just live off of the asset, work and pay it back. So you can invest the money that you got in the asset and create another stream of income. That's the beautiful part about real estate. It's an asset that you can leverage just like the banks. And I think the more people start to educate themselves and realize the benefits of real estate and why the banks own so much real estate, like BlackRock, there's a reason why. And it's because it's a place to park your money.
Yeah. I think we nailed it. I think that's the live stream of the day. So yeah, we're going to chop this up, put a couple videos out, but I think this is good. We're trying to go live every Wednesday. So keep an eye out. Be sure to watch this, drop a comment, give it a like, subscribe, all that jazz. I think we blew their minds. You got any last thoughts before we wrap up, Gino?
No, just we have a amazing program, and I want everybody to be able to get access to other people's money and be able to create passive income for themselves. We have passive income opportunities for anyone that's just trying to get started and make some extra money. Well, you can invest your money and create income for yourself today, not in a month or 6 months or whatever. You can do it today, and you can leverage us to help you do that.
Yep. All right, guys, check out creditleveragex.com. Give us a like and a follow. I'll see you guys out there in the world. Take it easy. Until next time.
Yeah.